the obstruction to the flow of electrons. Okay. So for example,
Excuse me, sir.
yes,
Sir, could you please explain that Ohm's law again?
I'm explaining everything in brief again. Just pay attention here.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
So first we discuss resistance. Resistance is clear to all that is the obstruction caused to the flow of electron. I can give one example. For example, your classroom gate. This is your classroom, and this gate you have to enter. This is the space provided. Now, if all the students try to enter, so there will be resistance from one another. Or if I do like this, on this gate, I put some posts there. So these posts, these go like these pillars, they will cause obstruction to your flow into the class. They will try to obstruct your flow in the class. Now, if you're entering slowly, you may enter, but as you increase moving more fast, every student, so there will be more collision with these poles, and the resistance will increase. Okay. So in metal as well, as the metals are formed, some electrons get free from the outer orbits and they are free to move throughout the metal. They are free to move throughout the metal. So if this is our one conductor or metal we can take. Now, since free electrons have been released from the outer orbit, it becomes positive ions. The atom becomes positive. So these are the positive ions, and we have the same number of free electrons. Free electrons I use with red color. Okay, these are our free electrons. And these positive ions, they are static. These positive ions, they are static. They remain at their position. Their position is fixed. Whereas electrons, they are mobile. They randomly move here and there. They move here and there. Any direction they can move. Okay. Any direction they can move. These electrons, if I take any cross section, for example, at this cross section, I cut the wire and check how many electrons have crossed. So number of electrons crossing this side and number of electrons crossing this side, it's same. So we can say net flow of current is zero when no potential difference or no force is being applied on these electrons. Okay. Now they are randomly moving here and there. They collide with each other. They collide with the positive ions, and randomly they move here and there. Okay. When potential difference is applied, when potential difference is applied. So these electrons will get aligned because the force will be acting due to potential difference. So this time these electrons, they get aligned. So positive, negative. So from negative terminal, excess of electrons will flow, and this is a positive terminal, this is negative terminal. So these electrons are being forced to move towards positive terminal. Now a force will be acting on these electrons. So these electrons, they get aligned and starts to move towards positive terminal. Similarly, electrons, they starts to move. They have aligned. Now see here, what will happen? If force will be acting on these electrons, their speed will increase. Their speed is increasing. As speed increases, now these positive ions, they will collide with them. As they collide with them, some energy will be lost. Some kinetic energy of these electrons will be lost in the form of heat. That's why you have seen when current flows through a wire get heated. That heat is because of these collisions, the sum of the energy of the kinetic energy of this electron is lost in the form of heat energy. Now they change their direction. Now, because the force is continuously acting, they again change their direction and move. So their speed increases, collides. Due to collision, speed decreases. Now again, force is continuously acting, their speed increases, again collision, speed decreases. And this way, the electrons move inside a metal or inside a conductor. So the speed increases, decreases, they drift here and there, move, and they move towards positive terminal. So it's a kind of a drift. So this is, and the obstruction offered to the flow of these electrons, or we can say obstruction offered to the flow of current. To the flow of current, it is called as resistance. It is called as resistance. Now, Ohm's law. We discuss Ohm's law. So, Joe Simon Ohm, he conducted some experiment and he found that the current flowing in a circuit, the current flowing in a circuit is proportional to the potential difference across the conductor. So current flowing in a conductor is proportional to the potential difference applied across the conductor, provided physical conditions remain same and temperature does not change. In that case, this relation will hold. That is, current is proportional to the potential difference. So if potential difference increases, it means more force will be acting on the electrons and more electrons will move. And more fast they will be moving and more current will flow. So current flowing in a circuit is proportional to the potential difference across it. This is clear? Now, or we can say V upon I is constant. V upon I is constant. Or this constant we can replace with R. That is R. It is resistance. It is resistance. How these are related? With a constant, that constant is R. That is, resistance remains constant. Or we can rewrite the equation as V equal to IR. This you have studied. Potential difference equal to current flowing in a circuit into resistance offered to the flow of current. This is Ohm's law. This is Ohm's law. This is clear. Okay. Now, if current flowing in a circuit is 1 ampere, if current in a circuit flowing is 1 ampere, then we can say that resistance is equivalent to the potential difference numerically. Numerically, the numerical value of the resistance will be equal to the numerical value of the potential difference. For example, in a circuit, potential difference we have applied of 5 volt and current flowing through the conductor is 1 ampere. Then the resistance offered will be how much in numerically? Resistance will be also 5 ohm. So numerically it will be equal to 5. That is the numerical value of the voltage, that is potential difference, and resistance will be same if current flowing is 1 ampere. You have understood this one? Next is unit of resistance. What will be the unit of resistance? So use this equation R equal to V by I. What is the unit of volt, potential difference? Volt. What is the current unit? Ampere. That is volt per ampere. Volt per ampere. Or we call it as ohm. Ohm is the unit. It is denoted with sigma. This symbol is being used for resistance. This is clear? Any doubt till now? Unit of resistance we have discussed. And high unit of resistance, we can use the prefix kilo ohm, mega ohm. Kilo ohm, 1000 ohm, mega ohm 10⁶, then giga ohm, those all high units, we can use the prefix. Okay. Next, we discuss conductance. So, resistance is the obstruction offered. Conductance is reciprocal of resistance. It is reciprocal of resistance. So, conductance equal to 1 upon resistance. It is reciprocal of resistance. So what will be the unit of conductance? Resistance unit is ohm. So it will be ohm inverse or sigma raised to power -1. We can use, this is the unit of conductance. Or it is also called as Siemen, SIEMEN. So resistance is clear, conductance is clear. Any doubt till now? Any student? Now we plot the graph. and then
Excuse
we'll
me,
do
sir.
the experiment. Yes,
Sir, this symbol of ohm is also known as sigma.
sigma. It is sigma. We use the ohm is the word we use since the scientist. It was Joe Simon Ohm who have discovered this. Okay, so ohm, and we represent it with a symbol sigma.
But
So
sir, here in
5
bracket
ohm
it is omega.
omega. Okay, yes, it is omega, not sigma. Sorry, sigma is this one. Sigma is this one. It's omega. Okay, it's omega. Sigma we'll be discussing soon. We'll be discussing sigma as well after some time.
Excuse
It's
me, sir.
omega. Yes.
Sir, what is the use of conductance?
Conductance, see here. Resistance offered we have discussed. Conductance or by conductance we can only see if the high value of conductance is there, we can see that particular substance can conduct more effectively. Mainly it is not used much here. Resistance we will be using mainly. Resistance is if more the value of resistance, we can say more resistance will be offered to the flow of electron. Conductance, we can say this if any substance, any material that is having more high value of conductance, then we can say this material will be a good conductor. It will be conducting more, that is current will be conducted more, or resistance offered will be less. Okay, those are okay.
Sir, it was right only.
Yes.
For ohm, we are using omega, and for ohm raised to -1, we are using Simon only.
Simon we are using, or sigma raised to power s we can use, or sigma raised to power omega raised to power -1. Okay, these units you can use, but we will rarely use conductance. Resistance will be mainly using. So this symbol we can use for conductance s or omega raised to power -1. This is clear.
Yes.
Okay. So sigma will be using for conductivity. We'll be discussing that afterwards. Okay, next is the IV graph. IV graph. Okay, we'll be discussing, so don't get confused between IV graph and VI graph. We'll be discussing VI graph as well. So for a metal, so with the variation in voltage, we are drawing IV graph. Voltage, potential difference on x-axis and current on y-axis. This is clear. So as we are varying the potential difference across a circuit, in a circuit we are varying the potential difference, and corresponding value of current will be plotting, and it comes out to be a straight line passing through origin. It comes out to be straight line. So you can see the resistance is constant. Now the slope. How to calculate the slope? Slope, any 2 points you take. Now project them on y-axis. So this will be the delta I. This will be the current delta I. And on x-axis, this will be delta V. So slope is y divided by x. So it will be delta I divided by delta V. What it is? It's conductance. The slope of in IV graph will give us conductance. Slope in IV graph will give us conductance. This is conductance. Or delta I divided by delta V equal to 1 upon resistance. What was the formula of resistance? V by I. V equal to I. Yeah? This is clear? Tamanna,
Excuse me, sir.
Tamanna, you can switch off the camera so that it will be available in full screen afterwards, the video. Okay? Yes?
Sir, can you please explain that slope part again?
Okay, slope what? Simply how we take the slope. If this is the slope and this is the axis, y-axis. We take any 2 point, project on the axis, and we name it as, we calculate the value and let it be delta x. Okay, on y-axis, similarly, we project those 2 points on y-axis and we call that as delta y-intercept. This is y-intercept, x-intercept. Okay, and slope is y divided by x, that is delta y divided by delta x. This is the slope of the line. So
Yes, sir.
similarly, we did the slope here. So here it will be delta v, delta I. So delta I divided by delta v give us the slope. Now see here it is I v graph. So I will be on y-axis and v will be on x-axis. Okay, I will be on y-axis, x will be on delta v will be on x-axis as well. Here v is known, I is unknown. So mainly unknown quantities we plot on y-axis. So this slope delta I upon v, it is conductance, reciprocal of resistance. Understood this one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, don't get confused with this graph, and one more graph will be plotted. Okay, so limitation of Ohm's law. There's one limitation, that is temperature. Usually that with temperature the resistance must not change, but as temperature increases or temperature changes, the resistance varies. Okay, we'll be discussing that in factors affecting the resistance. Okay, in little detail we'll discuss there. Okay, now experimental verification we have done yesterday, so I'll be taking it in brief again. So we have drawn the circuit, we have the battery, plus sign, minus sign, and here we have the rheostat, that is variable resistance. Key we denote, and here unknown resistance, a nichrome wire we have taken. Okay, and this is the jockey, and here we have ammeter, here negative sign, and this side positive sign. And ammeter it we use in series to measure the current, and voltmeter we have to measure the potential difference across this resistance. So here we connect voltmeter, positive terminal positive, negative terminal negative. Always remember the polarity of the ammeter and voltmeter. Okay, now what we are going to do, this is our rheostat, we'll be varying the resistance. So initially we'll be drawing the graph. I first is here. Okay, I current, here potential difference, and here corresponding resistance value will be calculated. So first, if we move the jockey away from this terminal, A terminal, so high resistance will be there. High resistance, that is less current will flow. So we'll have the minimum amount of value of current in ammeter, and correspondingly across this resistance potential difference will be less. I1, V1. Okay. Similarly, now what we are going to do, we are moving this jockey towards terminal A. This is how we are decreasing resistance. As resistance is decreasing, current will be increasing. The potential difference across resistor and non resistance will increase. So we'll be plotting, we'll be marking those. So as the resistance is decreasing in rheostat, current will be increasing, voltage will be increasing, potential difference corresponding they will be increasing. Now if we calculate R1, V1 upon I1, R2, V2 upon I2, R3, V3 upon I3. Okay, what we see, what we observe here, these R1, R2, R3, their resistance values is same. Their resistance values is same, and that is equivalent to R. This is equivalent to this R, this voltage. Understood this one? Okay. Or if we plot the graph, this time we are plotting VI graph. We are plotting VI graph. Voltage, that is potential difference in on y-axis, x-axis we are plotting current. Okay. And if we plot these values, V1, I1. So V1, I1 and V1. So here will be I1, V1. Similarly, these points we plot, and if we join these points, we get a straight line. This straight line always passes from origin. We get a straight line. Now take any 2 points, P and Q. P and Q. These 2 points we have taken on this line and project them on y-axis as well as on x-axis. So this is VA, VB. VA. This is our corresponding to P. We have potential of VA. Here potential of VB. Okay. Similarly, project them on x-axis. I see. Okay, this is our C and D point. So here we have IC current, here ID current. Okay. Now we have to calculate the slope. So how to calculate the slope? Slope equal to this intercept divided by this intercept. This is how much? Delta V divided by, okay, 1 minute. Delta V divided by delta I. This is our slope. Delta V is how much? VA minus VB. Delta I is how much? IC minus ID. So what is the value of this one? This is equal to R. This is the resistance. So R resistance is nothing but slope of this line. Resistance equal to delta V divided by delta I. So slope of this line gives us resistance. Here we have plotted VI graph. Remember, we have plotted VI graph. This is clear to everyone? Okay. Next,
Yes,
we can
sir.
move ohmic and non-ohmic resistors. Ohmic resistors, those resistors which obey Ohm's law. Which obey Ohm's law. That is, we are getting this kind of straight line. We are getting this kind of straight line. So such graph for the resistors for which if such graph is being drawn, that is, with change in potential difference, current changes linearly. We are getting a straight line. So such resistance are called as ohmic resistors. They follows the Ohm's law. They follows the Ohm's law. Other are non-ohmic resistors which do not follow Ohm's law. Now you are seeing here, if we plot the VI graph, we are not getting a straight line, but a kind of curve. And this curve, it may or may not pass from origin. We may get some curve. We may get some curve. So it is not coming a straight line. We are not getting a straight line. So resistors which follow such graph, that is, they are following a curve, such resistors are called as non-ohmic resistors. For example, junction diodes are there, LEDs, transistors, as a filaments of a bulb, tungsten, they do not obey Ohm's law because their resistance varies. See, a filament of a bulb or the heating coil made of nichrome, with temperature, the resistance increases. With temperature, the resistance increases, and we won't get a straight line. So such materials, they are called as non-ohmic resistance, non-ohmic resistors. The differences you can study yourself, all the differences, ohmic and non-ohmic resistance. If you got any doubt in there, you can ask tomorrow, and we can start factors affecting the resistance of a conductor. So here we'll be discussing 4 factors which affects the resistance of a conductor. First is length. First material we discuss. Okay. So material of the conductor, from what material it is made up of. Second, we discuss length of the conductor. Third, area of cross section. Okay. Or thickness of conductor, we can say. How thick the conductor is. Last, it is temperature. So how resistance varies these factors we'll be discussing. So first one, we take the material. So you know as well, different materials have different amount of free electrons. So the concentration of electrons varies from material to material. So the material which is having more or high concentration of electrons will be a good conductor. And as the concentration of free electrons decreases, the material will be having more resistance. So, like for example, good conductors, they have more number of free electrons, whereas insulators, they have negligible amount of free electrons or no free electrons. So accordingly, we group the materials: good conductors, semiconductors, or insulators. Bad conductors we can as well. Depending on the concentration of free electrons, different materials have different resistance. This is clear. Next is length. Now, in length, resistance is proportional to length. You all know. As the length of the wire increases, we are increasing the length of the wire. The electrons, there will be more collisions. More the length of the wire, more the number of collisions. That is, resistance is proportional to length of the wire. Third is thickness of the wire. Thickness of the wire, we take the cross section of the wire, that is area of cross section. Resistance, how is this proportional? It is inversely proportional to area of cross section. How? See here, one wire we take this much thick, other wire, the thickness we have increased. Now more thicker the wire, more area of cross section, more space for electrons to flow. Here you can see the channel is very small, so more resistance is offered. Less space for electrons to move. Here, more space for electrons to move. So as we make the wire more and more thick, there will be less resistance to the flow of electrons. So resistance is inversely proportional to area of cross section. Thicker the wire, better the conductance, or less the resistance. Thicker the wire, less the resistance. So you have seen at home as well. When we are using like for bulbs, tube lights, the wires which have been installed at home, they are a little bit thin. Like for 75 mm wire they use. 0.75 I think. 0.75 mm. They use 0.75 mm of wires. Or if little like we are going to use geysers and all, we may use 1 mm or we are using 1.5 mm of wire or 2 mm of wires. Like more thick wires we use. Like you have seen the wire coming from the pole to your home. It is of I think 2 mm or more than that, 2.5 mm maybe. More thicker wire is being installed, so that because more current is going to be drawn, if more current, that is more electrons has to flow. So thicker the wire is there, less the resistance will be. Okay. Tamanna, please switch off your camera. Okay, this is clear. Thickness, if thicker the wire, the okay, 1 minute I will take only. So resistance is directly proportional to the length of the wire and inversely proportional to the area of cross section. Last is temperature. So see here what happens with the temperature. As temperature increases, the random motion of the electrons will also increase. So as temperature increases, the electrons, they gain the energy and their kinetic energy increases. As the kinetic energy increases, they start their random motion increases. As random motion increases, the number of collisions will increase. More the number of collisions, more the resistance. So with temperature, resistance increases. So as temperature increases, resistance increases. You can see in the graph as well. If earlier, this is VI graph. This is the graph. See here, for corresponding value of potential difference, we have, so for this voltage, we have this much amount of current is flowing. But as temperature has increased, let it be T2 they have taken, and this is our T1. As temperature have increased from T1 to T2 to T1, So now see for the same voltage, potential difference voltage, less current is flowing. For the same potential here, T1 is greater than T2. So you can see as temperature increases, the graph is moving, the slope is increasing. Slope is increasing. V upon I equal to R. As slope is increasing, resistance is increasing. You can see for the corresponding value of potential difference. As at less temperature, more current flows. As at higher temperature, less current flows. As the temperature is further increasing, this will be the plot. Okay, 1 minute. This has to pass from origin always, please. This will be the plot. For the same amount of potential difference, less current flows. This is clear? So specific resistance we'll discuss tomorrow in next class. Okay, and see here, the portion which we have discussed till now on page number 186, go through the question answers. Okay, whatever we have discussed, try to find the question answer and what you are going to write. If possible, it's better if you maintain a notebook and start answering those question answers. It will help you.
So we have
Okay.
to mark in textbook or write in the notebook.
See here, if you practice writing those question answers, it will be better for you. Okay, it's not compulsory. In physics, you only do the numericals, but I recommend you to write the question answers. Okay, or still some questions which you can easily mark and easily learn, that's fine. But some are more subjective and you can are not able to get in books. You have to frame the answers. Okay, so you must go
Sir,
through this question. Okay, okay, we end here. Thank you all.
Excuse
Yes.
me, sir.
Yes. Yes, 1
Sir,
minute.
name-
Pragyan. Yes, Pragyan. Okay,
Excuse me,
Parinita.
sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you tell the difference of the graph between